Joy, and I'm going to continue, as you've seen the title and the thumbnail of this video, I'm going to continue my series on Britney Spears. Now, if you haven't seen them, I have 3 other videos I've done about her situation with the Free Britney movement, so make sure and go check those out. I'll have links in the description. I will have links up here. Some of these videos might not make sense, but one thing I've talked quite a bit about is her mental health. And something I've been talking about, is Britney Spears really mentally unwell? Or is she in a situation where it's impossible for her to be mentally healthy because she's surrounded by abusers, now stalkers, and people that harass her non-stop or that did? So I've talked a lot about Britney Spears and the breakdown she had in the mid-2000s where she was hospitalized against her will, she shaved her head, and I've been very critical because I'm of the mindset, I don't know that Britney Spears is necessarily mentally ill. I want you to think about this. Almost all of these pop starlets that were in the music industry, almost all of them come out with some forms of mental illness, some forms of addiction. And then a lot of them end up having these weird mental breakdowns, like Amanda Bynes, and sometimes it happens kind of, or at least seeming to the public, out of nowhere. Now, I'm not saying they don't have mental issues to deal with, but what I am saying is, are these people really just mentally ill and unhinged? Or is it they are in a toxic environment around predators, Hollywood, that is constantly using them in really horrific ways and in ways where it's abusive, and they will never be able to be mentally healthy being around that much abuse. The problem is, once you get into that Hollywood elite cult, it is very difficult to get out. And that's what I want to continue to examine. Now, with Britney Spears, as a part of her and the situation that happened to her, and her going to, rehabs and mental hospitals, basically, it was a situation where they were able to get her kids taken away from her. And for her to get them back, she ended up having to sign over her life. She made what she didn't know was a huge mistake and said, okay, I will allow my father and a woman named Lou Taylor to have a conservatorship over me. And now she is trapped. And the person who is running the conservatorship is her abusive, alcoholic father. Yet Britney's the crazy one. The system has allowed an abusive, alcoholic man to have complete control over her finances, and all of her decisions. But Britney's the crazy one? This is what I want to look at. And here's my big issue right now with this. Something I've been more and more diving into. So Britney had some phone calls and some emails leaked in 2007, and she talks about a woman that is stalking her and scaring her. So I want to go ahead and read this email to you. It's very short, but I want you to see what it says. The email is dated Tuesday, the 10th of July, 2007. And it says, Gary, since you are my lawyer, even though I don't know if you are really trying to protect me or not, but there is a crazy lady, Lou Taylor, that has been sending stuff to my house. How did she get my address? And why can't you stop her? I don't know her. She is a stalker. She is really terrifying me and my babies. If she knows where I live, then she can just show up here. She sent me a blanking pink hat, and she is writing letters like she is my mother. She has been stalking me since Malibu, and it needs to stop because I don't have security, and Sam refuses to stay over every night because he has 1,000 dogs to go feed. And I have my babies in London, and she keeps saying I am possessed and that she needs to come and kill these spirits. Weird. I am asking you for help, please. This gated community cannot or will not keep stalker mail from reaching my front door. The maid let the FedEx guy in, and that's how this hat got here. We told her 1,000,000 times to leave me alone, and now she is saying she's going to visit my drunk, blanking father in Kentwood. I don't care about him, but she could easily find my mother and hurt her. What am I supposed to do when Sam is not here? I am scared. Can you call him and tell him that it's very important that he needs to stay here every night? Because it's like no one is listening to me. And now she sent me pictures of her and a man and butterflies, and she's really crazy. Do you care if I'm dead? Because I cannot sign your checks if I am. Your client, Britney Jean. So here's the problem. Lou Taylor, the woman that Britney is terrified of, that's stalking her is now her business manager and has been for a few years. But Britney's the crazy one? Can somebody explain how it makes sense? It's amazing to me what Hollywood and mainstream media have done to gaslight everybody into believing Britney is this crazy, unhinged person when they have somebody controlling her life who is an abusive alcoholic. And then her business manager is literally her stalker saying they want to kill off her demons. But Britney's crazy. How did this, what judge, what court saw this and was like, yeah, this is stable. Let's entertain all that Britney is actually as crazy as they say. I don't think she is. Let's entertain it, right? Let's entertain that. Why would they put such dangerous, unstable people into her life? This is what doesn't make sense. And when you follow the story of this, guys, this Lou Taylor, now she has a talent management agency. She does work with other celebrities, but she tried to do this exact same thing with conservatorship to Lindsay Lohan. She was trying to do it through Lindsay's mother, Dina Lohan, but thankfully Lindsay Lohan's father, who's not a perfect guy by any means, but he did right by her because he stood up and he said, no, I'm not going to do that. She wants to imprison my daughter. So what did she do when she couldn't get her hands on Lindsay? She goes to Britney's father because Britney's father is not the brightest man. He's an alcoholic, easily manipulated, and can't not use Britney for her money and her success. Because as we know, if you guys have followed Britney's story, Britney's parents went bankrupt, putting so much money into Britney's career being young because they thought it's going to pay off, she's going to get famous, and they can profit off of her. They can just continue to profit off of her. It makes me sick. It makes me sick that they've all done this to this beautiful young woman. And they have just made somebody who's worked so hard and been a really great artist and creator for the world. And we can argue, look, I can sit all day and argue all the things I don't like Britney Spears has done, especially the sexualization of what happened to her. But that wasn't her fault. She was a teenager, and this is what the industry did. They sexualized a child, Britney. They made a huge frenzy around her virginity. 15, 16 years old. They were just obsessed about, have you lost your virginity? Who asks that of a child? It's one thing if you're a parent and you're concerned because it's like, do we need to figure out birth controls or what's going on here, right? It's one thing if you're a concerned parent or a family member, if that's an appropriate position for you. But random adults felt entitled to want to know as much as they could about a child's sex life. So I wanted to bring this up because more and more celebrities are speaking up on behalf of Britney's situation. It's been like 13 years. Britney is stuck in the system. She has said she is terrified of her father and she will not perform until he is out of her life and she has control of her finances and control of her situation. Her father is so violent that he had a violent episode with one of her sons, got her kids taken away. The big reason she signed up for the conservatorship when she had the mental breakdown was simply because everybody around her said the only way you'll even get a possibility of seeing your kids is if you sign this, because they need to see that you are in good shape and good control and that you can be handled. And then ultimately, her drunk, abusive father put the abuse on the children, and the children are taken away. This is why so many people, you will see so many videos that are conspiracy theories about Britney Spears across the board. I just did one that was about all the people are saying she's got bruising on her face. And there's some interesting looking stuff. I could argue it both ways, but I also understand why people are doing it because Britney is so controlled. The rumor is she has zero control of her social media. Other people run it. She's not allowed to run it. She's not allowed to speak. She's not allowed to do anything. So she ends up getting these hidden signals and hidden meanings. And there are times we know, and she's confirmed, she has done that. So a lot of people sometimes will read into a lot of what is being said. I just can't understand how the narrative is that Britney is just crazy and mentally ill and they put an abuser and a stalker to control her life. Guys, do you think you would be mentally sane if the person who was abusing you was now in control of everything? And if somebody who was stalking you and terrifying you now controls all of your business? I can't believe this would happen. But then again, I can because of the predatory system that Hollywood is. Now, the good news is apparently this year in late November, Lou Taylor resigned. And Lou Taylor resigned without, giving any warning or any notice, just absolutely resigned from the situation. And I think that's attributed to the Free Britney movement continuing to put so much pressure on this situation and raise awareness, which I'm really, really happy about. But there's a couple things I want to go into about this that are really concerning. Now, here's what's interesting. As these emails leaked about the one that I just showed you earlier, Lou Taylor had come out and said, so that's all a lie? Because what really happened was Sam Lufty, who was a business manager and friend around the era of the breakdown that no longer works with Britney, Lou Taylor said that was sent by Sam Lufty, and he actually stated that in court. And we have it on record, him stating he was the one that sent those emails. However, Sam Lufty issued her a cease and desist about this situation. And guess what? Lou Taylor deleted and retracted her comments about it. That's not shady. Let's look at this. This is from August 17th, 2020, Law Offices of Mark Gans. And it says, Dear Ms. Taylor, this firm represents Mr. Sam Lufty. It has come to our attention that today you defame Mr. Lufty in multiple comments on Instagram, and we hereby demand that you immediately and permanently remove these comments and refrain from future defamation. Specifically, on an Instagram post referencing a 2007 email where Britney Spears referred to you as a crazy lady and a stalker, you commented that, did you know twice in court under oath Sam Lufty admitted to writing the emails? Seriously. And then it gives a link to where this was. See enclosed screenshot. You also commented on a similar post that referenced the email. She did not write them. Also, twice in court of law, Sam Lufty admitted he wrote them. And it says, this is demonstrably false. Mr. Lufty never admitted to drafting Ms. Spears' emails and has in fact denied doing so. These comments are thus actionable defamation. Moreover, accusing Mr. Lufty of forgery and impersonation is defamatory per se under California Civil Code Section 45A, which entitles Mr. Lufty to both an actual and presumed damages. Spreading false, destructive, and defamatory rumors about him will not be tolerated. Please do not think that arguing whether Mr. Lufty actually did write the emails, which he did not, and for which there is no evidence, is in any way relevant. It is not in bold letters. You stated demonstrable fact that twice in court under oath Sam Lufty admitted to writing the emails, unless you can present evidence of such sworn testimony, which, big bold letters, which you cannot because it did not happen, then you are unequivocally liable for defamation. Making these statements with the knowledge that they were false or with reckless disregard of their falsity constitutes malice and exposes you to liability for punitive damages as well. It should also be noted that you are a protected person under the civil harassment restraining order obtained by Ms. Spears on June 13th, 2019, as well as the subsequent stipulated permanent injunction, and Mr. Lufty is prohibited from making disparaging comments about you. Mr. Lufty has abided by these obligations and has not disparaged you once since their implementation. If you do not comply with the demand to immediately and permanently remove the above referenced comments and refrain from future defamation, and our client is forced to commence a lawsuit against you, please be advised that Mr. Lufty has asked us to communicate to you that he will pursue all available legal remedies, including seeking monetary damages, injunctive relief, and an order that you pay the court costs and attorney fees. Your liability and exposure under such a legal action could be considerable. This letter does not constitute a complete or exhaustive statement of all the facts of Mr. Lufty's rights or claims. Nothing contained herein shall be construed to waive, limit, modify, abridge any right, claimed, or demand available to him at law or in equity, all of which are hereby expressly reserved. And then this is from Mark Gans, Law Office of Mark Gans again. And yeah, it's pretty good, guys. So then we have some screenshots, and there's one that right here that says, we don't know how Lou first met the Spears family, but in 2007, Britney Spears referred to Lou as a crazy lady and a stalker in an email to her lawyer. We see Lou Taylor says, actually, it's defamation. Did you not see her post? I have never, not one time, even had a login for her account ever. She did not write them. Also, twice in court of law, Sam Lufty admitted he wrote them. All for freedom speech. but this is not, I'm all for freedom of speech, but this is not acceptable anymore for you to keep up this daily nonsense. Have a good day. Ridiculous. And then she doubled down again. But guys, as soon as she got the cease and desist, all the comments disappeared. Now, the good thing about this situation is, thank God for Britney that Lou Taylor is done. She has resigned and is away from her. And I'm really happy and really proud of everybody in the Free Britney movement, because again, I think it was specifically those people putting pressure on the situation that has made that happen. But this is a really shady situation. This is a really shady human being. And I think that removing her out of the picture, she's the one that actually concocted this whole conservatorship situation and sold it to the drunk abuser. I think it's one step further to possibly helping Britney get her life back. I'm also hoping that we will find some sort of judge or judicial court who will actually help Britney. One that sees, if she's so mentally crazy and unstable, may not be a good idea to let the people control her be a literal stalker, says Britney, and an abusive alcoholic. I don't know. Or you know what? Maybe it's just we need to blame it all on Britney. Britney's just crazy, no matter what anybody says, and everybody should be able to take advantage of her, use her, make her just perform like a dancing money. Everybody can get rich off of her. And then when when they're done with her, they can dispose of her and make more money by disposing off of her, and then get her out of the garbage once they've disposed of her, clean her up, dance monkey dance, make me some coins. I just can't understand how any court system allowed this to happen. But then again, guys, when it comes to mental health, when it comes to the mental health side of kind of the areas, I was not even going to say law, because I guess it would be law to an extent, but once like mental health facilities and the state kind of has you in their care, many times you can forever be lost in it. It can be very difficult, if not impossible, to get out of, especially if you don't have somebody advocating to help you get out of that situation. I always get very scared how many people end up getting institutionalized against their will because they're abuse victims. They're under PTSD and trauma, and they're never going to be able to heal and get out, and never going to be able to be safe. How on earth can Britney be mentally okay and sane and be better if she's around people that are hurting her, abusing her, stalking her, and making her feel unsafe? How did a judge say the woman that wants to exorcise her demons is more sane than Britney? Britney, who continues to be harassed, well, not as much anymore, but back then, harassed every single day. You know what, at this point, with the whole shaving her head and her attacking somebody with an umbrella, I totally get it. When you have so many people who are being horrific and mistreating you and overstepping your boundaries and your privacy as a human being and putting you in unsafe situations, yeah, she wants to defend herself and she wants to snap back. I'm not saying I'm okay with violence, but I'm okay. Like, I get it. You know what? She has a right to defend herself. The good news is, since then, more laws has been enacted. In fact, specifically about the Britney situation, more laws have come to light to be able to help her. And I'm really, really grateful for that, and other celebrities. I'm just disgusted that society was in such a point that we felt so entitled to be able to sexualize children and think that we have some type of weird ownership over our celebrities. That's why I tell people, when I tell them even 10, 15 years ago, the world was a very different place before social media could really cause and raise alarm to social issues and different issues that need change. It was a very different world, and people were absolutely awful. And I just wanted to make a video outlining this. Britney Spears is crazy, but they let a stalker, her stalker, be in control of her life. Welcome to America, where mental health care is completely backward. Okay, guys, if you like this video, give me a big thumbs up to support the channel. And if you're new, subscribe and hit the notification button. Would love to have you around. You can see what I have to upload. Sound off in the comments. Any of this makes sense to y'all? Is there something I'm missing? Let me know. I'm just real tired. We do this often. I've been talking about this in my series. I have a series about Onision and Shiloh and the docuseries that's coming out. We take the person that's being abused, that is traumatized by the abuse that they're under, and because they are acting in a way that's not sane, we label them crazy. and we continue to hurt them more. And I'm real tired of this happening in our society. It's happened to me, it's happened to women and children across the board, and that's why I like to make this content, and I put my foot down and I say I'm not doing this anymore. Also, if you know somebody who might like this content, please share this video with them. All right, guys, I'm just going to keep making videos ready because I love what I do, and I love you guys, and I'm always so excited. I just literally, I get filled with so much happiness every time I end a video. You guys have let me come back to this side of the internet. You have been so supportive of me being on this channel, and this channel is starting to really build and take off because of all your guys' love and support. I can't sit here and say how much gratitude I have. I never thought I'd be back on this side of the internet. I never thought I'd be able to cover these social topics and things the way I like to, and I just so appreciate that you guys have allowed me to do this and you actually enjoy my videos and enjoy my voice. So from every part of me and all of my heart, thank you. And I'm sending everybody lots of love, and I'm wishing you guys to be safe and blessings. And until the next video, I'm giving you all lots of hugs, mwah, and kisses. Bye, guys.